So I'm doing my first how to secrets revealed thing. I had a client a few days ago. I've been working on a logo with them, and they said they need the Pantone values from their original logo. So I went back to their style guide, and they didn't have Pantone values for all of the colors in their logo. They had, and this is not best practice, they had one, two, three, four or five colors they were using. And in the style guide, they had maybe 12 or 15 defined that they weren't even using in the logo. So I'm not sure what that was about. But at any rate, they only had one Pantone color defined. So I had to convert their CMYK colors to Pantone colors. Now, um, if you know anything about Pantone and CMYK, then you don't need to listen to me right now. But CMYK ink, when someone prints in CMYK, it's cyan, magenta, yellow, black. That's the CMYK. And those three inks are used to create all the other colors in a flyer, in, any of that stuff. A Pantone ink is a spot color, which means it's a custom mixed ink. And they're more expensive to print with. And there are about a gazillion Pantone books and swatches. If you go to, I think it's Pantone.com, you'll see how extensive their color library is. They have great resources, but they're kind of pricey. I have two books, and they're the CMYK plus Pantone books in coated and uncoated. Coated means shiny paper, uncoated means matte. Because those are the only two I could afford, and they're kind of obscure, so not everybody uses them. So I can't use those to convert my CMYK to Pantone because they're not, I don't think they're industry standards. They help me because I don't work with Pantone very often. Most of my clients don't need that because, like I said, it's expensive to print. So anyway, I needed to convert the CMYK swatches to Pantone. How do we do that? Well, we have a logo here, and it's in CMYK. This is one they gave to me, not the one I was talking about earlier. Um, but they didn't have a high res or a vector version of this, so I had to recreate it in Adobe Illustrator. And I recreated it just using CMYK swatches because none of my clients use Pantone ever. And you can see over here, these are all just the default swatches that Adobe puts in there every time you open a document. So none of these are actually being used. So I'm going to select all unused and delete them all just to clean that up for myself. I don't need to see all that nonsense. And now I'm going to convert these CMYK colors. So I'm going to pick one of these dark green elements, select same, this is a nifty trick, same fill color, and it'll select everything with that specific fill color. Now, how do we get this? If you look over here and double click that swatch, you'll see all the values. CMYK, the web value, RGB, HSB, all that good stuff. So if you look up here, you'll see the CMYK value. Now, you're going to go up to Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork. Bring that over here. And I had a hard time finding this at first. It's been a while since I had done this, so I've forgotten where it was. It's not up here. It's not under this. Because you're looking for color books, and it's not there, right? So it's down here in this weird little icon. And then you see color books. I don't know why it's not everywhere. And I'm going to pick what is probably the most common book. There's the Pantone Plus Solid Coated and Pantone Plus Solid Uncoated. I pick coated because I noticed that's what a lot of clients who do come in with Pantone colors, they're using the coated swatches. Now, that should have converted that dark green CMYK color to a Pantone, and if it did, it'll pop up over here in my swatches. Dink. And that means it's a spot color. Now, if I were to drag the CMYK swatch over here, it's not going to work because it's not CMYK anymore, Heather. But it wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't have that little tag on the corner. That means that it's a spot color. And if I double click it and open it up, it says it's a book color. And you can convert from Pantone to, you know, a spot color to any of these other ones pretty easily. But in order to convert from a CMYK or RGB or anything else to Pantone, you have to go through that edit menu. So I'm going to do that with all this other stuff. There's this light gray one. And then I have this box that's actually broken up into two separate pieces in order to create the effect. So, you know, that's a whole nother issue. You can see over here the gradients, but we can still do it the same way. Edit, edit colors, recolor, come down here, find your color book, ding, there, pick the two colors. Wait, look at that gradient. That's terrible. That's awful, right? That's bad. All right, so I had to look around because I don't know everything. So I had to Google this. And a lot of people have this issue when creating gradients from two Pantone colors. But I found a really great, and I'll put a link to it, on the graphicdesign.stackexchange.com, where you can post your problems and, you know, random people come and help you. So this is an issue, and this is how we solve it. Since we can't do this just by using the edit color, we have to kind of use a workaround. So what you have to do is turn these both to a solid color, the lighter of the solid colors, and then put a gradient of the darker color from 100% opacity to 0% opacity over the top of it and set it to overprint. And I'll show you how it looks nicer. So I'm going to copy these, and I'm going to tweak this to only use the darker color, and then I'm going to set the opacity on this end to 0. Okay, you're going to have something that looks like that. Now hold on, we're not done. Set that one to 0, and now I'm going to paste in place the other two and move them all the way to the back and just make them the lighter Pantone. Nice, right? It's very super smooth. And you can kind of see, if we go back a few steps, the difference that it made, right? That weird light colored band is gone. And again, you need to set the gradient, the shape of the gradient to overprint. If you don't set it to overprint, when a printer goes to print in those spot colors, if it's not set to overprint, it will by default knock out. And what knockout means that anything behind it won't print. So you'll have this weird empty space behind that green gradient, and you don't want that. So you want it to print the light green and print the dark green gradient over it. So that's why it's called overprint. And that is how to convert CMYK to Pantone. Now I also had to take this and decide how to convert it to two colors. They specifically asked for two colors, but this clearly has 4. So that was just a matter of some, you know, design preferences. I just chose to get rid of the gradient, obviously, Um, so it's flat, and I got rid of this gray bar that runs down the side of the logo graphic and just change it to the same color as the box itself. And for simplicity's sake, I merged that to make it one shape. And there you go. There you have it. There's my first video. I know it's not exactly beginner, but it might help some of you guys out there who maybe use Illustrator, um, you know, to kind of save yourself some money. And that's okay with me. That's cool. And I hope that I will have more of these coming and that you guys will find them useful, and that if you have any other questions, that you let me know. Thanks.